Hi, this is Marcel of Marcel on Tech, and today you're going to get my full review of the Nothing Phone 1. I'm very excited to be sharing this with you because I think this is one hell of a first edition phone from a new company that's doing smartphones. Let's get into it. First and foremost, I have to say, if you pick up this phone and if you've seen my unboxing video, you'll find a link to it above or below. This looks like and feels like an iPhone. Now, if you're familiar with the design, the boxy design of the iPhones, they are very nice in hand. They are heavier than this device by about 20 grams, actually. It's quite significant. But this one, therefore, is much easier to handle, but it does have a nice in-hand feel. And I know quite a lot of people don't necessarily like the sharp corners of the iPhone, but I actually really quite like the way this phone has actually got quite nice chamfered edges here. So it's not sharp, but they're not rounded like a lot of other more modern phones. Apple have managed to maintain a very boxy shape, very squared off, as you can see here. But the Nothing Phone, which is very similar in design, is still comfortable to hold in the hand. You're going to get edges, you're going to get corners, but it's not a problem to hold, and I really have to say I really do like it. Now, the edge-to-edge feature is something that I absolutely love because of the fact that the screen, which is a full AMOLED screen, I've got an awesome background here, is really lovely. It's a very nice AMOLED screen that's got excellent 120 Hertz resolutions, as well as some other details I'll put on the screen here. But it really is a fantastic panel that does make a huge difference in the quality of the imagery and in terms of fluidity as well. So the screen is a real pleasure to use, I have to say. It's one of those screens when you look at it, you can absolutely love the smoothness of it, the punchy colors, and the way that the OS has been designed. It does look very smart, so I really do like it. So it's a great panel, really nicely organized as well. So that's a really strong feature. Now, of course, famous for the glyph background, I have already featured in my unboxing how these work with the LED lights that'll be going around there. I'll put some clips in for you to see, but the LED lights work really well. Mostly, of course, if the phone is face down. If I show you on the box itself, if the phone is face down, the lights come on. But it is something that is a bit, not necessarily a gimmick because it does have function, but you know, you're not going to see it when you're holding it this way around. So when you're looking at the front screen, obviously, you're not going to see any of the features that might come up here. So, you know, it's not the best in the world, but it is a very nice, innovative variation on what is normally the slab phone design. So one of the things I did want to talk about was the biometrics of this device. So this has got two forms of biometrics. So you've got Face ID unlock, and you've also got fingerprint, under-screen fingerprint as well. Now, what I did want to say, which actually you can't see on this because of the background, is the fact that this has no notch like all the iPhones except the iPhone 14 Pro, which has now got the pill shape. This has a very small camera in the top right-hand corner there, which is easy to forget all about. So I really love the fact that the screen allows you to do that, but the biometrics are really good. So one of the things that I was very surprised by is how quick the Face ID unlock works. So I literally turn it to my face, the screen wakes up, it recognizes my face, and it unlocks instantly. Now this is one of the better ones that I use. It takes around 1 to 2 seconds. There have been a couple of other flagship phones that have been instant in less than a second, but this works really well. So by the time I've looked at it and decided what I want to look at, the phone is already unlocked like it is now. Now, as I mentioned, the screen is 120 Hertz, so we've got some absolutely lovely, buttery smooth transitions, which you won't necessarily see clearly here, but when you're looking at it, there is no judder, no stutter, none of those things. I have played a couple of games on this device, which has been a lot of fun. I've been playing some racing games, and I've played some fighter games as well, and the graphics are very good. It can handle quite high resolution. I'm not a huge phone gamer, so I'm not going to spend a lot of my time. My son is, but I don't spend an awful lot of time. But for the little bit of gaming that I do enjoy doing, this device is perfectly adequate with the fantastic panel that's on there as well. So I love that very much. Now, the camera, an important part of this for me is the camera, and I'll put up here what the different specs are for the lenses. But I have to say the 4K video that I have shot with this this camera have been very, very crispy. I'll put some examples on the screen now, but they are very, very smooth. There is onboard stabilization as well as OIS, so it's really, really good. It's got a wide angle lens as well, so you can get for those wider shots too. But again, you've got the 0.6 there, which is pretty good, but you're not going to get a huge amount of variation, but it is a 2x zoom as well. So it's a really, really nice camera with, of course, all the portrait features, etc. But it's not going to be a premium camera, but the quality, I have to say, with the camera science behind it as well, has been excellent. I've been actually very pleased with it. So I would easily give this a B+ for the camera quality here, especially in good light. I have very good light here where I live, but at night sometimes obviously it can suffer, and I'll put some examples, but it is otherwise a very capable camera. So I've been very happy with this, so I would highly recommend it. Now, one of the things that's really bizarre and quite annoying is that it doesn't actually have a built-in photo gallery. It uses Google Photos, which is there, and that is okay. There are some features in Google Photos that are quite good, but then there are some other features in there that are just annoying. And photos often have to be uploaded before you can make edits, etc. So, you know, it's not ideal, and for some reason they don't have their own built-in gallery, which I couldn't understand. So I installed another third-party gallery which functions, but is not going to be as good as, let's say, an OEM gallery such as Samsung have, and obviously Apple do as well. So I'm not quite sure why they don't have their own one, but that's just so it's obviously as close to stock Android as much as possible. But I don't necessarily think that that's as good as it could be if they had their own gallery app, which would be more powerful, and I've used in the past, particularly with OnePlus. But to say this is the Nothing OS, so it's been operating quite well. It obviously is very, very close skin to Android anyway, Android 12. So it's not a huge variation, but there are some quirks in there. Particularly the biggest changes are going to be in the notifications, which do look quite different. In particular, you do have to get used to how to select your connectivity. So you're going to find what your data and your Wi-Fi hotspots and so on, where it's going to be a little bit confusing as to how to select, as well as the setup for Bluetooth devices, etc. But it's not a bad thing. It's just different from other formats that have been used or that I've used in the past. So it's very clear, it's very straightforward. You get used to it very, very quickly. But I have noticed glitches in that sometimes the screen will get stuck. So the screen will be unlocked either from Face ID or from Finger ID. And then I'm pushing up, and it's not functioning. It goes dead. Turn the power off or hit the power button, do it again, and it works. I've noticed those little tiny glitches happening, which is very common with new OS systems. So that's not unheard of. Obviously, I've come across that before, but it's a little bit annoying. And the worst of it, I think, it did actually get stuck to the point where I thought, okay, I'm going to restart the phone, and I did, and it worked perfectly well. So the OS is good. Again, there's not a lot of variation in this format. You can't change the grid style. I do like to change the size of the icons, make them a little bit smaller, have more in the menu, but it's just not something that is an option available in the OS here, unfortunately. One thing I did find myself doing all the time, which was a bit annoying actually, was taking screenshots. Because the volume down and the power button are on opposite sides and they're quite close, if I try and power off the device, I end up hitting the screenshot image, and then there I am, ready to take a screenshot. So I've got about 15 screenshots taken by accident and only 1 or 2 that I did actually mean to take. So that's just a slightly annoying thing with the volume rockers being on the opposite side to the power button. Not that I have a huge problem with that, but obviously it just means that you're slightly more prone to doing that when you try and hit the power off or screen off button, because you're holding it like so and you just hit the other one. These could be a smidge higher if I was honest, but otherwise it's been pretty good. So overall, I would absolutely recommend this phone. For the value for money, everyone that has seen this phone has been seriously impressed with the design, the layout, the glyph. The see-through background is very interesting. The shape is a very popular shape. because of iPhones, obviously. It's comfortable in the hand, it's lighter than an iPhone. The camera quality is more than adequate, particularly in good light. The camera, the video quality is very good. Like I say, B+, really good. So it is a surprisingly good device for a first iteration from nothing. So I'm really quite impressed by what they've done. Look forward to what else they're going to come up with. And as always, if you can get hold of a second-hand device either through Amazon or refurb.com or Back Market, those are the best places to buy quality guaranteed and devices with guarantees that you can use ongoing without having to buy a brand new device. You save yourself some money, you save the environment, and it's much better overall. So bear that in mind, do consider it, and I hope that you do go for the Nothing phone. And if you do, put your comments below. If you've got one, let me know what you think of this video. And of course, as always, like and subscribe would be much appreciated. And I'll see you very, very soon for my next review, which I'm super excited about. Otherwise, have a great day. Peace out.